Guys, why are we doing this? Who was it? It's you. He's hurt. Dad, burn it. Please don't be broken. New worst fear unlocked. Hey guys, welcome back to K&S Get Out. I tell you what, if it's not one thing out here, it is another. Had some other plans for today and things we were gonna go over and do, and Shannon and I were up here working with Mr. Bruno, getting all his morning energy out, and Shannon was trying to water the garden. Speaking of Mr. Bruno, you think he's an inside-outside dog? What are you doing, buddy? You miss your air conditioning? Golly. So Shannon, we were up here planning out the day, trying to figure everything out, and we heard noises down there from the goats that we haven't heard in a while, honestly. About 6 or 8 months ago, somewhere in that time frame, Hercules was real rambunctious, and this was right before he got neutered. This was before we introduced the e-collar. And so he would still kind of chase the little goats, I call them goatlets, and was kind of claiming them as his. And sometimes when he got hyper or he really wanted to come out, he would go after the littles and get them screaming. Well, we just heard something like that, and I said, surely not Herc. He's really grown out of that now that he's getting a little bit older. He's neutered. We've done the e-collar training. So we went down there and we may have a goat with a broken leg. And of course, while I'm telling you that, Bruno and I are up here, and a stinking limb falls out of this oak over here, about whacks us. He's upset with it. That's the big oak that came down in the storm, however long ago that was. This is the one that I'm concerned that will be next. And the problem is, and I probably shouldn't be standing here, these limbs died in that same storm. And I don't really know what from, to be honest, or that it's just the tree is dying, which is terrible because that is a monster tree and it will absolutely hit our main power pole if not cut down properly, safely. Most likely limbed. You see this big, huge limb that comes all the way out over here. And then that one right there that goes out a little ways. It obviously is gonna wanna go that way, and that's my main power pole right there. So fortunately, the electric company, if their stuff, their equipment is in harm's way, they either have, I don't know if it's them or if they outsource it, but they have professional, what are they, arborists? Tree cutter downers? That thing. And they'll come out and do it so that safely they can take them down without taking down the power lines, because the power lines that are bringing the power onto the land, those are deadly. If those come down and you're in its way, that ain't your normal, accidental receptacle shock. That's deadly. But it's just been one thing after another. We totally had different plans. We went up and checked the eggs. We got to talk to you about that a little bit today. And then this stuff started. Welcome to Shady Acres. Bruno, are you upset that that thing fell kind of close to you, bud? I know it. Hey, what'd you think about your play date with Uncle Matt yesterday? Huh? Did you have a good time? He said you're like massively huge compared to how you were when he met you last time. My little brother Matt from Matt Dosway. In fact, I think he's actually got a video out that he put out right before this one of his visit out here. But he came out yesterday. It was hot. It's going to be hotter today. This guy is wearing out, and we do not take him up to the nest. I don't have his e-collar on him. Those of you who aren't in love with those, which I love them, if they're used correctly, they're a wonderful tool. We're to the point now where we're kind of testing him without the e-collar full time, and he's responding. His recalls are pretty good. It's all typically based on how tired he is. If his batteries are low, he may not listen all that well. Off, like right now. Yeah, I know, a big guy. I don't think I'm gonna go back outside. I'm in the office and it feels so good in here. I am happy to report that we do have a little bit of refuge in here if something happens to the camper's air conditioning. Bruno just sprawled out on the floor. Oh, it's nap time. I'm so tired. I'm just real tired about it. Oh my goodness, poor guy. Yeah, good luck turning that into an outdoor dog. I think he's gonna be a hybrid, a little bit of both. Whew, the wind's picking up a little bit.
Thank goodness.
I think it's a benefit, or it's just blowing the heat at us faster.
I'm gonna say it's a benefit. Any kind of breeze is good right now.
Yeah, right now we're just looking for the shade.
Yeah.
You just have to try to take the path with the most shade. I think it would actually technically be over there.
Shade hoppers.
Shade hoppers. Guys, I got to apologize. This day has already taken a major turn, and that's just kind of how it is on the homestead. But we're gonna try to remain in good spirits. We want to get back down there as quick as possible. I wanted to give him a little bit of time he's laid down, they're leaving him alone, but give it a little time for the shock to go away so that then we can kind of really see, you know, is he keeping, I haven't even told you guys who it is yet. I'm all out of sorts. We'll go down there. We got to go over something real quick, and we got to look at something up here at the nest. Shannon came up this morning, and I think our nest is going to have to be relocated by the birds, of course.
I think the nest has been relocated by the birds.
Yeah.
So yesterday morning I came up to check on the nest, and all of the eggs were all spread apart, and there were a couple broken ones. So I told Kyle, I think a raccoon or something got into the nest, and I just left it as it was. So later that afternoon, I came up to check on it again, and there were 2 hens sitting on the nest, which really surprised me. I didn't expect to find any birds up here. So I just left them alone and said, I'm not gonna bother you, I'm just checking on you. So then last night, I came up again, check on it, and all of the eggs had been pushed back into the little nest instead of them being spread out. And I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna salvage this nest. I don't know. So this morning I came up, and anything that had been salvaged, completely destroyed, completely gone. I've got to show you what's going on over here. Still there?
I can't see it from here, but there were eggs left, right?
Well, the snake was eating the last egg that was up here.
Oh, okay. Well, I think he ate it and he's gone.
I kind of expected him to still be up here digesting it, but...
Yeah, that's why when I was walking up here, every stick looks like a snake whenever it's at that point.
But, oh, on that side over there, you can see...
Yeah, the brokenness.
Some broken eggshells. So I came up this morning to check on the nest and stumbled on this snake. And I told Kyle there were several broken eggshells out here, and I definitely think that something got into the nest before the snake, and he just came and cleaned it all up. Because when I got here, he had one in his mouth. You could see it.
And they just swallow them whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the assumption is the broken eggs from the day before. And I do have to admit, and I told Shannon not to beat herself up over it, said let it go. She was frustrated with herself. We wanted to put the trail cam on it, and she cleaned them up, you know, was spying on the birds and all that stuff, and there's so much to think about sometimes that we didn't get the trail cam on.
I just forgot.
And it happens.
I know.
And quite honestly, even if there was a trail camera on it, it still would have happened. We just would have had evidence of...
We'd have known what it was.
Yeah, so I think we had either a raccoon or possum or something the night before, because they're the ones that will kind of mess with the nest. They'll pull a couple out, break an egg or two. I don't know if they're taking any or not. It's all that. But then my hypothesis is, because I'm a snake doctor, that snake then can smell those eggs, or I think they stick their tongues out and then they stick them in the roof of their mouth, and that's how they smell.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty certain that's why they do that.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. And if it's not true, we're gonna leave it in the video, and whoever does know, comment down below. But I'm pretty sure it's the tongue, and then it comes into the mouth, and their nostrils are like in their mouth or something. I don't know. My point is, he smelled a breakfast just waiting for him, and it was the rat snake, as you saw in the clip. If you didn't see a few, I don't know how many weeks back
ago.
That was the exact same kind of snake. In fact, it looked like, I didn't see this one in person, but it looked like pretty close in size. Would you say the same?
I think it was just a little bit smaller, but it was definitely at least 3 feet long.
Yeah, so they're fairly easy to spot if you're looking down and you know where you're going. They're a pretty slow moving snake. I've walked some back into the woods before, and they don't get in a huge hurry. And I know we have a split camp on this, and my snake haters out there are gonna be like, please tell me you dispatch that thing. Not like relocated, but like, yeah, because we did that with the last one. So half of you, or I don't know the percentage, are going to be happy to know we let him go. He does good things for us out here besides steal our guinea eggs. Most of the things they hunt, you know, it's kind of like our owls. We love our owls, but do they pose a risk to some of our animals? They do. We just have to learn how to better navigate who to, you know what I mean, you know. So
we're still learning. We're still new.
Yeah, pretty much. And ultimately, we talked about it, you know, we've got the eggs in the incubator. We don't need more eggs for incubation. We've collected enough that we keep a good collection up there so that we can scramble them, give them to the dogs, we can eat them ourselves, put them in food and stuff. So, you know, this is going to be the cycle of life for guineas, and especially as we add more and there become multiple nests or whatever they do, maybe a nest of 300 eggs.
I sure hope not.
We're going to have alligators showing up.
Surely something will show up and eat them before that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it kind of seems like that 18 to 20 is about the sweet spot where it's like, it's too tempting for things not to mess with it.
A dozen.
Yeah.
A dozen is tempting.
So there you have it. It is what it is. We're gonna have to find their new nest.
It's at the neighbors?
It's probably at the neighbors. I know the birds are still roosting up here, at least as of last night. And you can see the poop circle around the tree that they're roosting up in. But they have been exploring a little bit more, kind of going to different areas. So maybe they were already kind of aware of this problem and have begun laying somewhere else. Hard to know when something eats some of your eggs and you can't count them properly or keep a good count. Okay.
Did you tell them we have like 2 or 3 more days and then we're gonna be watching for eggs to hatch?
Yep. Uh-oh, we lost our shade.
Yeah, we gotta hop to the
We gotta get back to the shade. Okay, heavy heart time. We gotta go down and see a little guy about a problem. And before you comment away about me talking about that tree and that limb being a problem and all that, I know. Just like everything else, it's on the list now. And that one's a fairly decent emergency because that branch coming off of the side of that tree, that's a big or heavier than most of these little trees I cut down around this other oak. It has been a concern to us because we've seen some of the branches that were dead, but that one that just fell while I was out here with Bruno, that's the first time one of them has come down, but there is another one. So we'll be dealing with that too. It's fun. I promise it's all fun and worth it, right babe?
It is. Welcome to the farmstead.
It is. You just got to be ready for it. You guys have all seen, and some of you have asked because you're not aware or you didn't see the video where we talked about it, that our hay feeder, this is a decent sign right here. Our big hay feeder is, hey, I know. Good boy, Hercules. Down in your cool spot. How you doing,
he's
buddy?
putting pressure on it.
It's little Mario, guys. We were scared. It doesn't, when he's got weight on it, it doesn't look near as swollen as it did before. That red right there, can I touch it? That's a boy. That red is not blood, just like Luigi's horns and sometimes blue. Spruce has got a red tone to his horns as well. That is from the paint or the powder coat or whatever is on that red hay feeder. But when they get a little pecking order-ish, in other words, specifically Luigi and Spruce, they will get on either side of this hay feeder and be across from each other, talking smack, taking swings at each other, until one of them sometimes will get down, back up, and just ram it. And we've even seen it, we've witnessed it, you know, tilt it over, and then the other one hits it back, and it's a stupid game they play. But we don't want to put it up against a tree because then they lose positions to get into it to eat hay. But we're going to need to figure out some kind of way to stake it down, because our worst fear was that it would come down on one of the goats and hurt them. And that is precisely what happened. I think little Mario got his leg stuck through one of the, hi buddy, I know it. We're all in your pen, aren't we? I think he got his leg stuck somehow in there and it was twisted. And so when we heard those screams I was telling you about earlier, that was him pinned down in the hay feeder. So we ran down here. Thankfully we were here. We were able to hear it, everything. Got him out as quick as we could. He would not put weight on it for a second. I did try to get some footage because that was live in the moment. And this is life. Oh, he's hurt. Little Mario, buddy.
He's holding his leg up.
I know. Hi, Herc Bub. Can I inspect Mr. Little Mario a bit? Oh, man. Come over here in the shade, big guy. Don't run, don't run. It's okay. I know, Mama. This is little Mario. This is his mama, aka Mama. This is Koopa Loop. Oh, do we have a broken leg, big guy? I'm so sorry. I don't know if maybe they just got too rambunctious and golly. Why don't you just lay down for a little bit, dude? I don't see any blood or anything.
I don't either, but it's that front.
Let's not jump up.
Oh!
Okay. Okay. You wanna lay down, dude? Well, see, when they lay down, they bend those front legs back. Now they can lay on their side and put them out straight. You know, at first he was kind of limping, showing it favor, and then it like dawns on him, oh yeah, I'm prey, I'm a goat. I need to get going, but what I don't want him to do is pretend like it's not a problem and make it worse.
Yeah, because it looks very swollen compared to the one on the left. Watch out, Coop.
I know, buddy.
And he's panting.
I know, buddy. Well, now he's got it, like he's keeping weight off of it right at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's my big helper.
He says, I'm cleaning your hat, Dad.
Dude, I can't even tell you how much gross is on that. Has he got it out straight?
Not yet.
We'll see how he's doing. Keep an eye on him. I have already since searched it on the internet. We're gonna give the vet a call and just do our due diligence to make sure he's okay, because goats have a very weird fight mentality, and when they go ill or they're injured or whatever, they're prey. They don't want to show that they're weak, because in the wild kingdom they're going to be the meal for somebody. So he was favoring it there initially, then we finished up what we needed to up there, and it looks like now he's not acting like there's anything wrong with it. I was even able to touch it just a second ago, but we're still going to follow up, do our research, see what the vet thinks, and make sure he's okay. Our trees are falling, our goats are breaking legs, our eggs are disappearing to predators, the AC is going down, it's 100 bajillion. Can I complain some more?
Man, I'm sure you could find something.
That's
a lot though. That's a lot going on.
It's just moments like this, you gotta kind of take the burdens, throw them on your shoulders, and just stand strong. Take it one step at a time, find solutions, apply, move on to the next one. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
How you doing, big guy? Spruce, was it you that did it?
That's what I'm wondering. Did you knock it over?
Was it you, or was it you? Or was it yes? Stinker pots. I have to admit too, Koopa and little Mario, you notice they're bigger than Mama. That's their mama right there. But they are now big enough and technically even stand almost as tall at the shoulder with Blue, and they have really started taking over what I think were Mama's fights. Not fights, but goats when they're hitting each other and stuff, either they're playing or there's a pecking order position that they're trying to take over. And Blue and Mama have always gone head to head, and I always had the thought that it was because they had babies in the group, but they never really would resolve it. They would just kind of play and then sort of respect each other's space. Now Blue would run you off, but it was more that you just didn't want to mess with it and you walk away. But these guys now are stepping in for her. Anytime Blue's getting involved, especially Mr. Koopa, this boy over here, he really comes to his mama's side, takes over the fight for her, and I think these two are about to put Blue in her place and pass her in the pecking order. Wait,
he says, love me.
Say it again, say it again. You think I am, really? All right. Little Mario, you gonna be okay, bub? I see absolutely no difference in his walk right there. I see that's the one, and he's down on it right now and didn't hesitate. All right, so we're just kind of standing here studying them. And yes, we chose to just leave it on its side for right now. Obviously, it is way more stable, and I don't have a way to secure it right at the moment, and they can still have their hay. But he laid down on that and started eating, didn't make a peep. I think we may be okay. I think it was just that initial shock factor.
It was probably like, you know how you bump your knee on something and it hurts real bad and you got to give it a good rub and, you know, give it a little bit of time to settle it down. Yeah. Like, oh, that hurt really bad. Oh, that really got me. Ah. And then it's all better. So maybe that's where he was.
Hey, you know what?
Because he's laying down right now.
Me hearing you describe what happens when you stub your toe right now, it makes sense. Because I'm like, babe, are you okay? Are you bleeding? Like, do you need me to call the doctor? You're like, I stubbed my toe.
Yeah. Or like, you know, you get a paper cut.
Oh man, our injury definitions have completely different meanings and different levels.
Oh man, I'm just saying.
She's gonna live longer because she's smarter about it. It is what it is. We basically now, we don't graze them the first part of the day. When it cools down a bit, they do well in the heat, they're fine, they get very, very somber. I mean, we all want to. And they just relax. And we like it that they can come in here. The pen is like almost fully shaded all day long. But even the ones out there, they've got those trees right there by the hay feeder. We do have other hay feeders in here that are in the shade once that one comes out into full sun. So different times of day, different lighting. It is what it is. We literally have to wait until 6:30 p.m. or later. 6:30 is about the earliest. Realistically, last night it was like, had to be 7 o'clock. And we got them out and they grazed, they did great. I'm leaving them out a little bit longer than an hour, which is what I used to do. It was about an hour each time. And they're doing a really good job at even staying out of the woods more. They're just kind of grazing on that grass that's growing up the hill. And then they still do 2 or 3 circles. Herc gets to come out. So everybody's still getting their grazing time. That was a little Mario you saw just jump up on that stool. I think he's totally fine. Just scared us. One more thing. So we're still getting to have our goat time. We're still getting to be goaties, but just like every other animal out there right now in this kind of heat, you got to be wise about getting them out and burning energy when they really don't need to be. So we wait till it's cooler at night and then we go grazing, don't we? What you doing over here, Dr. Shannon?
Oh, poor mama. She always has so many ticks on her.
She's the tick getter, isn't she?
She is. I just got a big one off of her head, right by her horn.
I think out of all the goats, she just has the least amount of cares. She's definitely the oldest. So when she's out grazing, man, she's just head down, going to town or to the country. Yeah. But look at her. She is a trooper for removal time.
She really is. She's the best one whenever it comes to removing ticks. She will just be so patient for me.
It's that wisdom. She knows she's gonna feel better.
She knows I'm helping her.
Hi, pretty girl. Oh, she says, nope, not nursing right now, kiddos. I gotta eat my food first. Okay, this is pretty cute. That right there, guys, that's Harry. That's Larry's brother. Blue's first set of kids that she had out here. And he's checking on his friend little Mario. And buddy, you got a couple comments on the last video that you haven't been spotlighted in a long time since you got sick. We actually, boy, it's been a long time ago now, but we actually almost lost this guy. What we learned, we were leaving Herc's food out full time and the goats would stay out of it all the time. It was not a problem. We kept a close eye on it. And then Miss Blue, when she came and joined, over time, she would start eating Herc's dry food. She's the only one. Then she had her kids. And remember, we didn't know she was pregnant. So it kind of made sense that she would eat her grain, she would eat her hay, and then she would try to eat some of Herc's food because she was extra hungry. But she was thinner than she is now, not carrying kids when we first got her, when she was brought by Chad from the auction. So, little Mr. Hair Bear here, he's always been a little unique. He was kind of the runt of the two. We call him Houdini because he'd sneak out and he scared us, and we really did think we lost him one time. And he also was laying underneath the hay feeder and we found him. Actually, Herc took us to you. That's what it was. Herc saved you. But then he started eating the dog food, and wethers especially cannot have that dog food. It'll block up their system, create problems, and you block up a goat's system, poop and pee tracks, that's what they're called scientifically. That'll put a goat down super quick, and he was almost gone, and we got him to the vet just in time. But that is Hair Bear. Harry Houdini. He is a good boy. He still does try to get into Herc's food, but now we bring it out when it's feeding time and put it up afterward. One of the many lessons we've learned with you guys. Love you, buddy. Thanks for being a good boy. Are you in heat, lady? Ouija flirting with you? She's either in heat, she's hot, she's hungry. It's one of the H words. Oh, she's definitely in heat. Definitely in heat. He can't do anything about it, girlfriend.
Watch out. Come on, boys.
You're so trained.
Watch out.
Good job, Blue and Littles. I don't think I'm gonna be able to call you Blue and Babies anymore. I gotta change my training term, huh?
They're still babies.
They're the babiest babies we've got in here.
You guys are ridiculous.
All right, Mama and boys, you know who you are. Spruce, that's not you. Good job, guys, good job. Yep. Oh, I always get the spider webs. Spruce, you already hurt one goat today, man. Let's get your food, bud. Yeah, Ouija says,
You're a little bit ridiculous. Oh yeah, you know.
Harry and Larry, come here, boys.
Come on, guys. Come on. Go on. You guys are silly.
You know where to go, sillies.
Well, keep going.
They try to walk step for step with us. That is every stinking goat. This is how we drink in the summertime, isn't it, bud?
Couldn't get my camera out quick enough a minute ago, but he had all 4 feet and he's in the tub and he sat down in it. And then he was like, this is a little small. So he got out and got a drink.
I mentioned that last time that he still does that as big as he is. He'll get all 4 feet in there,
yeah.
And then he can still get his head down there to get a drink while he's in it.
He couldn't get his head down there to get a drink while he was in it, but he got everything in there and he was like, okay, this feels good. Now I can get a drink, and he got out.
Silly boy.
Yeah.
We'll keep you nice and cool today, buddy. We'll keep that pool water nice and cool, and you know what to do. He likes whenever we change out their water, because if we dump it this way, it'll kind of drain down here, and he can make himself a nice little cool mud bath. So it's that front left leg. He's looking like, I mean, he just scratched his head with his back leg, so that would have put even more pressure on that front one.
I think he's gonna be okay.
I think so too. You guys are just little panickers, aren't you? And yes, I'm talking about me and Shannon. Oh, we did call the vet. It is sad. They kind of know me by voice, and I'm sure they have good old caller ID, like, you know, since the 90s. What are you talking about, Spruce? So we called the vet, we gave the rundown. I explained the timeline, the time frame, that he is now putting full weight on it. We've seen him jump up on the spool. He did traverse through all this and over the logs. And he's acting very normal. So I told her, of course, I went to my good friend Google and typed in there, and that'll make you think like, oh, your goat's leg's gonna fall off and then he's gonna die 5 minutes later. I don't know, I need to start making up stories and putting them in blog posts on the internet, on websites I don't like, just to be that guy, because I think that's what people do. Or I don't know, maybe their stories are worse. Maybe it's like their goat got its leg broke, you know, in the mower, and so it got all chopped up or something. They're omitting some of these details. I'm like, no, ours just kind of, you know, fell over, locked in the hay feeder. I don't
really
know.
have any words.
I just gotta quit.
Idea.
I gotta quit reading the internet stuff. Stuff's garbage. Oh, you know that's not gonna happen. Just gotta be careful with your evaluations based on what you read. Call your vet, call the professional, call the folks who have seen these animals. This is the same vet that banded him.
They've literally seen all of our animals.
Vaccinated, yeah. They actually laugh because they have a record of all their names. And so we'll bump into one of the vets and she's like, hey, now that's Earl, right? What's the other two's name? Duke and Daisy. Oh, it's so funny. I just laughed when I saw Lil Mar, you know. We're those silly ones. I don't care. It's fun.
It's okay.
And honestly, we're good patients, right? You know, we just trust them and we do whatever they say so that then we can blame them if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
That is not true. I would never do that. I get it.
All right. I think they're all doing pretty good.
Well, guys, we'll give you an update. We are waiting. The vet tech that we talked to, we're very familiar with her. She's very familiar with our animals, and she feels like we're okay. But she said, hey, just for safe measure, let me go talk to one of the vets or a couple of the vets and just kind of tell the story and make sure that they say, yeah, you're fine, just keep an eye on him. You know, if I see him exhibiting any kind of pain or whatever, then we will isolate him and let him take some resting and some healing time. But I think he's fine. I think it's just, you know, we all stub our toes or trip and fall or hit door jams or hit my head on everything inside the camper. And it does sometimes take you a second to come back from it.
It's just that initial shock, you know?
Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of your hair so that you all can calmly chill and relax. Try to stay cool, okay, buddy? Whew. What a start to the day.
Yeah.
I
Way more hectic than I was anticipating.
I know, I gotta go back now to our discussions we had last night about what we intended to do. But we're coming into the hot time and
which means you do nothing. Nothing during the hot time.
well, what we talked about, and I even told them that the what's that thing called?
Office?
That the office is really a good place of refuge because the camper struggles. And by the way, a lot of great feedback and comments on keeping the camper cooler, shade cloths and things like that. And we've heard a lot of them. We've seen a lot of other ideas and stuff. We
haven't pulled the trigger on any of them
pulled the trigger.
yet.
We haven't solidified, like, man, what would be best? Yes, it would be great. And somebody had a very kind comment about this, but it'd be very ideal to get a large carport with like an aluminum roof over it. In fact, there's folks up the road that they have an RV and theirs sits in that and they don't even live in it. It's just they store theirs under that. Hey, don't eat my shirt. Thank you. But it is a bit of an investment. And so, you know, you're thinking through, is that the best route to go? I don't know. We've got to figure it out though. Cause like today, as hot as it's gonna be, it won't be able to even maintain like 84 degrees in there. Nala knows where to lay in front of the one air conditioner so that she stays cool. I promise we give her options to go up in the office even while Bruno's, she don't want it. That's her camper, she loves it. But we'll make sure the air's running, keep everybody cool, and then we'll graze later.
Yeah, once it cools down.
Yeah, so when we hear back from the vet, we'll let you guys know in the next video officially what they say, but I think everything's gonna be totally fine with little Mario. Shannon just freaked out. I love you.
I'm gonna take it.
Guys, we love and appreciate each and every one of you. We thank you so much for coming along this journey with us. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Oh. She says, I'm good here. But where is she going? Talk about a goat herd. This is the epitome of a herd. You got all this room out here. You eating your minerals? Good boy.